In this video, I'm going to give you the 3 mindset shifts that will fast track your business's growth. It will literally put, if your business is like this, it's going to go like this, okay? It's going to put your business's growth on steroids. I know this to be true because I studied the millionaires and billionaires who have ever done interviews. Over the several interviews that they have done, I haven't interviewed them. I've studied all of the interviews and all of the books they've written. I know this to be the case. This is the common 3 denominators that all of them follow, okay? So, get straight onto it. What's actually keeping your business stagnant? The first point is, I've spoken to a lot of business owners, both service-based businesses, brick and mortar businesses, e-commerce brand owners, SaaS businesses, agency owners. I'm one myself, okay? And so is my father. One thing that happens when the going gets tough, the majority of the time, is we turn on demon mode. We decide to lock in. We're like, okay, everything doesn't matter. Business now, nothing else matters. Socials get deleted, friends get put on hold, sleep gets minimized, parties get declined, everything gets declined. Everything, which is great. I love demon mode. I love working 18 hours a day. I love getting 6 hours of sleep. It genuinely does feel great. I go to bed that night, the second my head hits the pillow, I'm knocked out. Okay? It's that type of feeling. If you've ever worked 18 hours a day, or if you've ever even worked hard, that's what it feels like. You know that feeling. Your head hits the pillow, you're just knocked out, dead cold, sleeping. You don't even remember you even went to bed, okay? Except for there's one flaw in that logic, and that is you shouldn't just lock in at random times, okay? This is one trait that all millionaires and billionaires have in common. They don't just lock in at random times. They are locked in all of the time, okay? This is also why I find the false dichotomy between work-life balance is just garbage. It's garbage. Work and life is put together, okay? Your business isn't your life, but your life is dependent on your business. So I prefer to just mix them together. Anything that I do in life is completely engineered to further my career and my business and my income, okay? That might be networking. That might be jumping on calls. That might be doing YouTube videos like I'm doing right now, building my brand. That might be something along the lines of even eating, okay? Even eating, I consider part of work, because if I wasn't to be eating, I would not have the energy I need to go out here and record this video with such enthusiasm and energy that I am right now, okay? Everything is work, and you need to start viewing it from this frame, okay? Everything is work. Now, it's not a yes, it's work, no, it's not work sort of thing. It's not binary, okay? It's a spectrum. A spectrum of, is this work high leverage or is it low leverage? So playing video games, okay, that is the most low leverage amount of work that I could even think of, okay? Playing video games is completely retarded. That's why you don't see the billionaires playing video games. Alright, there might be one where, for example, Elon Musk plays some sort of video game. I don't know. They might play some sort of video game once. Okay, it brings them publicity. It's actually work behind the scenes. You don't see it, but it brings them publicity. Anyone that you see playing games that is filthy rich is doing it because they're either trying to deepen a relationship with someone or there's some other motive behind the scenes that you're not seeing, okay? I'm in demon mode all of the time. There is not a single minute in my day that is not being used to further my business or my career, and I've kept it that way for 2 years straight. Please keep this in mind. 2 years straight. That's why I think burnout isn't real. I was watching one of Alex Hormozi's videos the other day, and he said something along the lines of this. Okay, I'm going to butcher this probably terribly, but this is sort of what he said. He said, slaves thousands of years ago used to work 7 days a week, barely fed, carrying 20-ton stones up dozens of meters. For their entire lives, their kids were taken hostages. If they didn't work, their kids were slaughtered. And that gives me power. That's exactly what Alex Hormozi said, or not exactly, but that's something along the lines of what he said. And I thought about that deeply, and I found it to be extremely true. Okay? Slaves built the Great Pyramid of Giza. They built the Stonehenge, the Great Wall of China, the Taj Mahal, the Colosseum, the Statue of Christ in Brazil, every one of the 7 wonders of the world, including today's cities that you live in, I live in, every human lives in. London, New York, Washington, every single city. Okay? They all were built by humans. Effectively slaves working for money. I'm not telling you to become a slave to your work. That's not what I'm telling you, okay? I am not telling you to slave away and become a slave to your work. That's not how the billionaires do it. That's not how the millionaires do it, okay? But I am telling you that there is untapped work ethic that you are not utilizing, okay? There is untapped work ethic. You might be working 40 hours a week and you might think, whoa, that's tough. Yeah? I work 100 hours per week. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to scale your business, you're trying to really become freakishly profitable, okay, with whatever business endeavor that you choose, working 70 to 80 hours a week should not seem unreasonable. And if it does, you should probably not be doing business, okay? You should probably not be running a business. You should probably be doing something else. I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, but this is the truth. If you are not prepared to be working 70 to 80 hours a week, then you should not be running a business. It's simple as that. Okay? Second thing, nothing is really good or bad, okay? You might think that a family relative passing away is bad, or that going bankrupt is bad, or some other certain situation is bad, or it might be good. Maybe winning the lottery is good. However, that doesn't give you any power. Okay? That's giving power to the situation at hand. You want to believe only in that which gives you power over the situation that you are handling. And the best technique that I found for that is just to master the art of it just is. Okay? Yes, getting rich is hard. Yes, negotiating with suppliers for better prices is hard. Yes, dealing with chargebacks is hard. Should it be easy? Should it be complicated? Should it be quick? Should it just fall straight into your laps? I don't know. Maybe. It might. Maybe it should. Maybe it shouldn't. I don't know. Nobody knows. I just know that it is hard. It is hard, and it's a situation that I'm going to have to deal with. Therefore, I just recognize it for what it is. I don't sit there saying, this should be easy. These people should be more sympathetic towards me. They shouldn't be doing chargebacks against me, okay? I don't sit there and do that. Now, I don't run an ecom business, but if I ran an ecom business, that wouldn't be my thought process. I wouldn't sit there and think, why am I getting all these chargebacks? I shouldn't be. I'm getting the chargebacks. What's the next step forward? How do I stop getting chargebacks? I know that it's bad. I know that it is bad. How do I stop it? I don't sit there and overcomplicate it. I don't dwell on it. This is also part of the reason I think philosophy is rubbish, but we're going to get onto that in a minute. I don't sit there and go, this is so hard, it's incredibly difficult, growing a business shouldn't be this difficult, the government should help me, and they should bring interest rates lower. Should. What the fuck does should even mean? It's just airy-fairy dust bullshit. It doesn't mean anything, okay? It's just dust in the sky, none of it is real. Should does not mean a single thing, okay? It just doesn't mean anything. Maybe something should be some other way. Maybe. Perhaps. Potentially. It could be. Maybe. Should be. Okay? But all I know is that things just are. It just is. Okay? There is nothing more to it. And I'm going to give you a little story to this so you can see what I mean. This is a very small story compared to what I'm talking about. However, you're going to see the dynamic here in play. So I was at the gym yesterday. I was running on the treadmill like I sometimes do. And by no means do I have any degree of a good stamina capacity. Okay? My stamina is not very good. I'm going to be 100% upfront with this. It just isn't. And all of a sudden I get a vignette flood my eyes. Okay? It's just, when you take a picture, you have the opportunity to edit. When you go to the edit, there's a vignette setting. You can turn it all the way to the max, and it's just the outskirts of the image just go completely black. That's exactly what was happening with me. My eyesight was going dark, my legs were feeling shaky, my face was burning, my face was sweating, everything was just the most painful time I had been in a very, very long time. And I could have said, hey, this shouldn't be so hard. I should have trained stamina more often. I should have taken pre-workout. I should have listened to my boxing coach when he told me to go for runs. I could have said that. But what use would that have been? There's no power being given to me. There's nothing being given to me. I'm not thinking, okay, what's the next step forward? I'm there sitting, maybe I should have done that. And if you have any sort of a brain on you, you understand why this isn't a good... Why you understand why this isn't a good mental model to approach life with. You understand that should isn't real. And you as a businessman deal with the realities of the world. And the realities are. They're not shoulds. They are. They is. I don't know how else to put this over to you. But... again, what use would this have been, okay? Genuinely think about it. What use would that have been? I just recognized that it is hard. I accepted it. And in the moment, word for word, I said to myself exactly this. Yes, Alex, this is hard. It's difficult. You're in agonizing pain. You could just step off right now and head home and have a nice meal with a cold drink. But if you quit, You'll never get this chance to push yourself again. Specifically this chance. Okay? And all of a sudden, my eyesight was back to normal, my legs went firm, and I continued running. Why? It's not because the pain stopped. The pain was the exact same. However, my perception of the pain changed. I stopped changing it from, it shouldn't be this, to it just is. Now, I'm not sure about the whole psychology behind this whole thing. If you're really interested by this, you can go search it up. But I just know that my reinforcement in the belief of it being ultra difficult gave me the power I needed to harness to overcome this certain situation. That's sort of how I imagine it inside of my head. Now, you might imagine it the same way, it might help you, or you might not. Okay? And it's the exact same thing with business. Learn the art of it just is, and you'll get further than anybody who cries what should and shouldn't be. I'm telling you this as a fact. As a fact, this is probably the most truest statement you've heard the whole of 2025. Okay? You just need to know it just is. How do we deal with it? How do we deal with it? Okay? There's nothing more to it. Okay, now what are the traits of a successful person? Niccolo Machiavelli is one of my favorite philosophers of all time, and as I said before, I really despise philosophy. I think it's a bunch of horseshit. It's just books written by people who were too shook to do what they wanted to do. They didn't want to go out. They didn't want to conquer. So instead, they wrote a bunch of letters, hopefully maybe transcribing something that may end up in the hands of someone who might go to war and win a war one day. Therefore, they get the praise. I don't know. However, I just think it's a bunch of horseshit. It doesn't really matter what you think about it. The fact is, this man, Niccolo Machiavelli, hit one point so deep. It's been the cornerstone of every single successful man that's ever lived. Anybody who's a millionaire or a billionaire, they embody this technique. Okay? Any conqueror that ever conquered anything used this thought process. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Napoleon. You can think of anybody. They all had one thing in common more than any other trait, and it's with doing what it takes to come out victorious. Okay? What I mean by doing whatever it takes to emerge victorious is literally doing anything. Be selfish. Be merciless in your actions. Cut out people who don't leave you energized and aren't a positive influence on your world. And if you need to be, deceive people. Okay? This is explicitly what millionaires and billionaires have done in their lives to become filthy rich. Disgustingly rich. I know this. I've studied them in depth, and I know because the second I started using these tactics, my business skyrocketed, and so did everybody I know that I told them about these tactics. Their business skyrocketed. Okay? If you look at Elon Musk, this is a sort of case study. Look at Elon Musk. This man started off at the bottom, then he became the richest man alive, and then he decided he still wanted more. Okay? Now, besides the fact that is super G, he did whatever it took to get more. Now, the man is a senior advisor to Donald Trump and the de facto head of the Department to the Government Efficiency. And he is the definition of doing whatever it takes to win. Because on his rise up there, he probably had to deal with a bunch of ugly people, nasty people. I'm not sure about the politics. I'm not sure how it all works. I'm not a big fan of politics either. However, I'm sure that the man had to deal with a bunch of nasty people. And in order to get to where he is, he had to tell a couple lies. He had to bribe some people, maybe. I don't know. Nobody knows except for him. However, this is just what goes on in the back of my head. Because it isn't just pure hard work and brute force. That's not what it takes to win. You can work harder than anybody else. But if you're working hard inside of a coal mine, do you think you're really going to be richer than anybody else? It doesn't really do anything. Working hard isn't anything. Okay? Yes, it's a pillar in regards to your success. It's a pillar that holds up your success. Okay? And without it, success just falls down, it crumbles. Okay? I've seen this happen in first hand. I've seen this happen. People have stopped putting effort towards their business and it just crumbles. Okay? And because creativity is success is creativity, it's strategy, it's network, it's communication skills, it's reputation, every single thing plays into it. Let's go back to Elon Musk. When Elon Musk walks down his factory line with Tesla, if he walks down his factory line and he sees machine 1 working great, machine 2 working great, machine 3, meh, it's not really working, it's producing faulty colors. The other machines are still working great. There's only one machine inside of the whole assembly line that's really fucking everything up. Then he's going to look back at it and he's going to think, I can't sell cars. I can't sell cars. Because if you sell the car, it's going to be a faulty car. Nobody's going to buy the car. He went back and he fixed every single thing. Every single machine has to be individually optimized to its absolute peak. Okay? Everything. If it's not, you are not going to reach the end result that you want to. You might get a certain percentage of the way there. But with success is binary. You are either successful or you are not. And it happens like this. It's instant. The second you have all the skills that a successful man embodies, success happens like this. I know it. I've seen this happen firsthand. And it's happening to me right now. It happens. Alright? I can't tell you exactly what it takes for you to win, okay? This is another important thing. Nobody can tell you exactly what it takes to win unless you hire a mentor and you really, really ingrain his brain with the situations of your business and your goals, etc., etc. But if you want to create a freakishly profitable business, you just need to know that everything gets so much easier. Okay? You just need to know that this one thing makes everything easier. Everything. Doing whatever it takes to win makes it so much easier to win. And it sounds so basic. However, most people are stuck up in this perpetual cycle of virtue, 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 purpose, purpose, purpose. It doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't mean anything. You are here to get rich. Get rich. Simple. Alright? That's your job as a businessman. To get money pouring into your pockets, to get rich, and to take care of the people you love around you. Okay? To find that one thing, create 20 viable processes to achieve that one thing, and then keep trying each of those processes with violent execution until that one thing is attained. And that is the end of this video.